Thanks for joining us. I'm Shanté Sumpter. We begin with breaking news in South King County this morning, where 2 people were shot at a Skyway apartment complex. Most of the rain will let up this afternoon, but right now conditions are getting worse. This morning we have First Alert Weather Team coverage. Kayla Lafferty joins us at SeaTac Airport, where all flights are grounded right now because of the weather. And it's retailing for about $3,500. The phrase for $3,500 is trending right now. I imagine that's how they said it. $3,500, yeah, big steep price tag. We have a car on fire, several emergency crews out battling that, and you can see that smoke really billowing into the air at this point. It happened just before 2 a.m. at the Shorewood Grocery on 26th Avenue Southwest. King 5's Farah Jadrin is live at the scene. Farah, we know you spoke to the friend of the owner who has a big mess there behind you to clean up this morning. Most young adults have no interest in being a grown-up. I'm telling y'all, it's not what it's cracked up to be. We're going to continue our team coverage with Angelique Hockaday. She is live in West Seattle. And Angelique, we know that housing experts predict with the West Seattle Bridge reopening, there's a possibility we can see that housing boom again. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday morning. I'm Shanté Sumpter. We want to get right to that breaking news from overnight in Seattle's First Hill neighborhood, where a man had to be rescued from a large fire. So Snohomish County, get ready for delays there. Starting at 8 tonight, I-5 northbound will be down to 2 lanes in this area just north of the Boeing Freeway. We're here in front of one of her food hubs, one of many food hubs. Angel, can you speak a little bit about the work that you all are doing here, not only in Pierce County, but throughout our area? Police are looking for whoever shot a 9-year-old girl in Tacoma over the weekend in a drive-by shooting. This happened on Saturday night. The Washington State Patrol says the single-lane highway has no barriers, so not paying attention for just a second can easily cause a driver to go over the center line and hit oncoming traffic.
That's how far back I am. That's how far behind I am. I got a lot of watching to do.
I don't want to get off on a tangent, but you know, I'm still upset with how they did my girl Daenerys.
Oh.
She deserved better, but I'm still gonna watch. We are launching a new series here at King 5. It's called Cultivating Culture. It will shine a light on the rich Black culture throughout Western Washington. Our team will highlight Black innovators who are creating more spaces for community. Here's what you can expect next week.
Can y'all let me know where y'all be at? I don't see y'all.
I never found issue finding people like me. And then I get to Seattle.
It was shock, and I think it took a while to get used to it.
It's a question for many Black people who moved to Washington. The latest census shows the Black population only stands at 4.5%. With such a small percentage, how can one find community?
Every time we met somebody that was pretty cool, you know, they're like, yeah, I'm getting out of here soon. Like I did my time here.
The Emerald City is unique compared to other large cities across the U.S. For many, it's hard to find Black culture.
We would think, growing up in a predominantly white town, this shouldn't affect us, but it actually really did affect us. Like it was definitely different.
We sat down with therapist and author Ashley McGirt on what missing community can do to your sense of well-being.
It has a huge impact. If you feel like there's no community spaces, no one that you can talk to, it's going to lead to kind of a isolation that you don't want.
The transition to Western Washington can be a culture shock. Several groups are pushing past that feeling of isolation, paving the way and creating more spaces for community.
As a people, I think it's what we innately crave.
Expanding on the rich culture that has been here for decades.
I am born and raised here in Seattle, and I want you to know that there is a Black community here.
And the community that is here is strong. Absolutely. And so that's why we're small but mighty.
In our new series, Cultivating Culture, we talk with pioneers throughout Western Washington. From creators.
I started DJing. I don't know why that was the solution in my head.
To change makers.
It's not just a feeling of safety and acceptance, it's all pure Black ownership.
And meet your neighbor, say neighbor.
And everything in between.
We want to make sure that whoever finds our community can live their fullest life in Seattle.
Cultivating Culture kicks off Monday on King 5.
Exactly what you're doing is following your body. This is perfect.
Expecting mothers know.
We're holding hands.
Yeah.
And then in the water.
Yes.
Preparation is key.
I want you to think good thoughts. I want you to support Keisha during the code, right? This is a contraction.
Keisha Credit and her partner Adama will welcome a baby boy in a few weeks.
Having a birth plan before it's time, getting prepared months ahead of time so that whatever shifts happen in your body or with the baby or whatever, you're not blindsided.
It's a feeling Keisha has felt before. As a Black woman, she knows what it's like to not be heard by a doctor and having to fight for what she needed.
So when it came to pregnancy, I had that memory in the back of my mind of, you know how to advocate for yourself. Do that here.
A recent report from the CDC reveals that maternal deaths in the U.S. spiked in 2021. For Black women, the risk is even higher.
If you're not being heard, if people believe you have thicker skin, if they're not treating your pain, you know, all of the sort of lies and myths that have been told about Black people within the context of healthcare and health services provision, they get perpetuated.
Monica McLemore is the interim director for the University of Washington Center for Anti-Racism in Nursing and Equity. She says there's another fact that is being ignored.
Let's talk about Serena Williams. She's a really great case study in, oh, I didn't die, but I almost did. Right? So we don't talk about near misses.
Back in 2018, the tennis star revealed that she had major complications after she gave birth. She suffered from a pulmonary embolism and blood clots in her lungs and legs.
She knows her body better than anybody else because she is a multi-million-dollar paid athlete, and nurses still didn't listen to her.
Serena is not alone. In the latest CDC report on maternal morbidity, about 50,000 to 60,000 pregnant women face serious complications each year.
I don't want to die. That was literally the main part, of hiring me was just, I don't want to die.
Jasmine Williams is the founder of Blackberry, a local doula center in Burien. After her own traumatic births and an emergency uterine procedure called a DNC, she became a doula to support Black women.
I had to be rushed to the emergency room the day I was discharged, and I had a DNC without anesthesia done on me by a cisgendered white male doctor. Didn't tell me what he was about to do, just told me to lay down, did the DNC. He got mad at me for being discharged, but it was my first birth.
According to the March of Dimes, pregnant women who use doulas are 2 times less likely to have birthing complications.
I'm honestly kind of tired of us keep saying the statistics because we still have to put in that emotional cash to even prove that this is happening and having to relive our trauma and our harm.
Doulas are just one solution. Washington is one of 6 states that has legislation requiring some form of implicit bias training for healthcare workers.
So we still have to deal with not just...
McLemore says part of the solution is more legislation and diversity within the medical industry.
We need some training, we need some education, we need some people to get fired. Right? So it's lack of political will. And it's trying to solve a structural problem with individual solutions.
Ready? 1, 2.
Until the problem is solved, Black women are taking matters into their own hands.
Most people will survive their pregnancy and birth, and that shouldn't be the floor, right? It should be a joyous time, and you want to plan out with your team exactly what you want and how that experience should go.
For Keisha, one step was ensuring her care team were all of color.
I think trying to explain nuances that may be cultural or having to feel as if you're not able to be truly yourself because you might be in a room full of people that don't resemble you, feel you, or you feel that may not be as empathetic to who you are. So this is the baby's little face.
As Keisha and Adama await their baby boy's arrival, she encourages all moms to create their village.
I look at our child and the love that it already feels, and I'm just like, wow, I don't feel alone. This doesn't feel as hard as it would if I felt isolated and just carrying the weight on my own shoulders. I don't feel that way, and I'm very grateful that that's my pregnancy journey.